What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Matt Talk Sports, and now normally I have this great intro for you guys, or at least in my head, I think I have this great intro for you guys. And instead, your boy Matt Talk Sports, aka Matt Rodriguez, is spiraling. I am spiraling out of control. My head hurts, my heart is broken, and I fucking can't stand the team. And that team is my favorite team in the world, the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills just lost to the Houston Texans 23-19. Before I get into this game and the rest of the week 12 slate, like, comment, and leave a subscription right now to Matt Talk Sports on YouTube. Right now. Follow me everywhere on Matt Talk Sports, TikTok, and Instagram. I will see you there. Now let's get into this Bills game. Bills, they lose to the Houston Texans 23-19. The Bills defense, which was a major problem to start the game. They allow 3 points in the second half. 3 points. Now, if you would have told me this before the game, I'd be like, oh, that's enough for the Buffalo Bills to win. Psych, it wasn't. Outside of a huge James Cook run on the first drive of the game, the Bills' offense might have given the worst performance of the year. I mean, listen, all year, if you've been watching my videos or my TikToks or my shorts or my reels, I've been saying how great this Houston Texans defense is. It's a Super Bowl caliber defense. It might be a Super Bowl winning defense. I don't think the Texans are going to get the Super Bowl, but that's how great this defense is. They dominated the Buffalo Bills tonight. They had 8 sacks. However, we should never lose to a Davis Mills Texans-led team. Listen, I get it. I've even said it in the pregame. This Houston Texans offense hasn't looked any different since Davis Mills took the helm. With that being said, they should not beat us. And the offense of the Houston Texans wasn't beating us. The Houston Texans had 35 net yards from scrimmage in the second half, and they still won. Do you guys know what the fuck that means? The Houston Texans had 35 net yards from scrimmage in the second half, and they still won. Are you fucking kidding me? Guys, as a Buffalo Bills fan, we don't fucking deserve this, dude. We don't. The O-line we have, which should be a top 3 offensive line, top 2, or maybe even top 1, it certainly was heading into the year. Guess how many sacks they let up this fucking game against the best defense in the NFL? 8. Josh Allen dropped back 35 times, I believe, and he was pressured on 28 of them. This fucking offense is sorry and fucking disrespectful. All of the injuries this defense, the Buffalo Bills defense, has had this year and suffered through, and for that defense to only allow 3 points in the second half, and for us to still lose the game, is solely on the offense. The reason why the Bills lost this game is because of the offense. It's because of this offense. As bad as this defense is, as horrible as this run defense is, they did their job today. They did their job, but great enough to win the fucking game. And the Bills offense couldn't do it. Joe Brady couldn't do it, and Josh Allen and this offensive line and this receiving core certainly couldn't do it. The only skill position group absolved from blame in this game is James Cook and Ty Johnson, and that's the running back crew. And Ray Davis will throw him in there because he scored a kick return for a touchdown. Dude, I mean, this offense is horrible, man. I mean, it's the most inconsistent offense in the NFL. This team, it was said on Twitter, so I'm not the first one to say it. This team, this Buffalo Bills team, particularly the offense, is so consistently inconsistent. If you think this team is still a Super Bowl winning team or a playoff team, you are out of your fucking mind. Out of your mind. This is going to be the first time you've heard me say it because I've only been doing this YouTube shit since the end of August. I don't believe in this Buffalo Bills team. I don't. And call this an overreaction. I love Josh Allen. I trust Josh Allen versus almost anybody in the NFL. The Chiefs are 5-5. I'm picking them to beat us in the playoffs. The Broncos, Bo Nix at quarterback and their offense stinks. I'm picking them to beat us in the playoffs. If the Houston Texans make it in the playoffs, I'm picking them to beat us in the playoffs. I mean, the Colts, a team I don't trust. I think that team is so fraudulent. I think of how good Jonathan Taylor is and that offensive line is. They beat us in the playoffs. This Bills team, this is the year where we're supposed to get it done. This is the year, and we are fucking choking on it. We're choking on it. We are choking on it, man. And man, I hate to get so flagrant and yelling and so incoherent, but that's how I'm feeling, dude. This team is embarrassing, man. Embarrassing. This defense only allowed 3 points in the second half. How many points did the Bills offense put up in the second half? 3. The only offensive touchdown this Bills team scored was the James Cook one. Let's talk about what our offense did today. Josh Allen, 24-34, 253 yards passing, and 2 interceptions. He took 8 sacks for 70 yards lost combined. James Cook, the only good offensive player tonight outside of Shakir, I guess, who had a huge fumble. James Cook, 116 yards, 1 touchdown rushing. Khalil Shakir, 8 receptions, 110 yards. Who the fuck else was receiving out here tonight for the Buffalo Bills? Ty Johnson had 3 receptions, 45 yards. He's absolved from blame tonight. Jackson Hawes, 2 for 26. Gabe Davis, 1 for 22. Joshua Palmer, 2 for 21. Dawson Knox, 3 for 17. And James Cook, 3 for 13. 3 turnovers from this offense tonight. 2 picks and a fumble from Shakir, which was huge. You guys want to guess how many sacks this defense has had since Michael Hoy got injured in the past 3 games? 1. Man, this Bills team is going to give me a heart attack one day, man. And it might be this fucking year. You look at the AFC and you look at the Bills' record, this Bills team is fraudulent, man. And I'm not afraid to say it. And I don't care how I overreact about a win in the upcoming games. Deep down, how I'm feeling right now is how I feel throughout the entirety of the season. Whether I let you guys know that or not, remember this video if you watch it. Now, let's talk about Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen. Josh Allen is my favorite sports player of all time. He's my favorite quarterback of all time, and that doesn't have to do with the team he's playing for because I love the Buffalo Bills first and foremost. Josh Allen. You saw that in real time. I had to fucking restrain myself. This O-line was horrible tonight. Spencer Brown, you kind of get absolved here because you had a huge injury clearly on your shoulder and you couldn't block. But guess what, buddy? If you're that injured, get the fuck out of the game. Pull yourself out of the game earlier. Deion Dawkins, man. One of the highest paid left tackles in the NFL. Absolutely horrible tonight. Now, listen, you're playing the best D-line in the NFL. Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. Dude, you had no chance on anything tonight. Anything. But Josh Allen, man. You got pressured on 28 of their 35 dropbacks, I believe. And I'm going to be honest, man. Josh Allen was not good tonight. In fact, Josh Allen was bad tonight. You know how much that hurts me to say? Josh Allen, man, I don't want to get sacrilegious and religious on y'all, but Josh Allen is like a savior to me. And a lot of people are going to be laughing at this, but this is legitimately true. Josh Allen is a savior to me. Josh Allen was horrible tonight, man. And that has almost, like, not everything that I just said has to do with him, man. He has no help outside of James Cook and Ty Johnson, man. And Khalil Shakir, I guess. I mean, Josh Allen, man. That first pick Josh Allen threw, horrible. The second one, horrible. But even if he completed the pass, it would have been absolved because it was an offensive pass interference on Gabe Davis. What the fuck is Brandon Beane doing, man? Legitimately. What the fuck is Joe Brady doing? Legitimately. Brandon Beane, you offer Miami Dolphins a 2027 first for Jalen Waddle. They said no, but if you give us the 2026 first, we'll give you him. Instead, you sat on your hands and didn't do it. Guess what? Because you didn't do it, that might cost you your job. Unless you make it this fucking Super Bowl and win it. That might cost you your job. Guess what? You drafted Cole Bishop. You drafted fucking Josh Allen. Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Because you fucked up this season. You fucked up this season in a season where we could win it, man. Chiefs have been bad. They're 5-5. Everyone else this year is not scary. But it's a scary to a team who sat on their hands and is just plainly inept and incompetent, man. I mean, what the fuck, Brandon Beane? Who the fuck are you, dude? To not get Jalen Waddle, man? Are you fucking serious? We drafted Keon Coleman, who is healthy scratch for the second game in a row. And goddamn it, he probably would have done nothing tonight, but holy shit. He's a healthy scratch, dude. And you didn't fucking get Jalen Waddle? Are you fucking... Dude, there's a word I wanted to use there. It starts with an R. And I can't use it because I don't want to get fucking canceled with the 30 subscribers I have on YouTube. But dude, you are R worded. That's what you are, dude. You are a fucking R word. Bro, I feel like I'm going insane, dude. I'm gonna tell you guys how I usually react after a loss. When the Bills lose, I usually sit in silence for 30 minutes or an hour or so, and then I talk to my homies. But honestly, since Shakir fumbled that ball in this game, I was yelling at my TV for about like an hour and a half straight. Dude, this was an embarrassing loss, and the defense was to blame for the first half. I mean, at the end of the day, the Tennessee Titans held the Texans scoreless in the first half last week, and they only won by 3 against the Titans last week. And the Bills, they let up 20 points in the first half, but they only held them to 3 points in the second half. So the defense is absolved. With all the injuries they have, they are absolved from any blame tonight. This blame is on Joe Brady, our offensive line, and then Josh Allen, man. I mean, that's just flatly. This offensive line, Joe Brady and Josh Allen. It's crazy how bad this Bills team was tonight. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I legitimately couldn't. The Bills had all the chances to win this game tonight. The Bills, they somehow convert a 4th and 27 and they still lose this game. Deion Dawkins false start on a 4th and 1, which pretty much ends this game for us. Deion Dawkins maybe had the worst game of his professional career tonight. Spencer Brown as well, but he was injured, man. Deion Dawkins, what do you have? What were you injured with? To my knowledge, nothing, bro. Josh Allen has no help, and the biggest helps for him is James Cook, and he is terrific. James Cook is completely absolved, and somehow we went away from the run. Why? Why did we go away from the run so early? This Bills team is depressing, it's frustrating, it's infuriating, and goddamn, I am angered. I can't believe this team, man. Dude, I don't think this team is good, and I don't think this team is a playoff team, and even if we get in the playoffs, we're going to lose and we're going to disappoint. The Bills have lost to Davis Mills, Michael Penix, Tua, and the only outlier, Drake May. This Bills team, man, I'm at a loss for words. The Buffalo Bills fans, including myself, all the shit we've been to, we don't deserve this. Josh Allen doesn't deserve this. Joe Brady might be without a job soon, man. Go get Brian Dable, dude. I mean, I hated the Gabe Davis signing. I hated the Jordan Poirier signing. But at the end of the day, these guys are kind of making a difference for us. Let's bring in the old guy who helped us out. Brian Dable, man. Joe Brady, we saw with Josh Allen after that 4th and 1 where we ran. Mind you, 4 straight plays we ran the ball. We have the best player in the NFL. The best quarterback in the NFL. We ran the ball 4 straight times. The most predictable play calls. It's disgusting, dude. It's completely incoherent, man. We were horrible. I don't know where we go from here. It's chaotic. It's depressing. It's underwhelming, and this team is a fucking disgrace right now. The Bills lose 23-19, and right now I think this team sucks, and I think this team is gross. I hate this team. There's no team I'd rather hate more than the Buffalo Bills. There's no team I'd rather love more than the Buffalo Bills, but goddamn does this team take a toll on my mental health. Um, thank God I have great friends in my life, particularly one, the Irish, Chris O'Brien, who will pick up my call after these egregious losses because without him, I really don't know where I would be. And shout out to Buffalo Fanatics and other Buffalo Bills fan pages because those are literally my therapy sessions. This offense is disgusting and abysmal, man. I don't even know if I just used the real fucking word. So if I had to blame people for tonight's loss, it's easily the offensive line, particularly. Honestly, the entirety of the offensive line was horrible tonight. The only great blockers tonight was Jackson Hawes and fucking Reggie Gilliam, who's been great this year. Then just Joe Brady. Predictable play calling, uh, non-coherent play calling, and this guy has been disappointing in his third year or second year. I forget what it is. And then Josh Allen, man. Listen, you are so great that you guys sacked 8 times tonight, but we have to criticize you in these spots because of how great you are. And that's just really what it is. Josh Allen saying, "What the fuck was that on 4th 1" is the epitome of this game and the epitome of this season. I love Josh Allen, man. I do, and I hate to see him go through games like this. I hate to see him struggling like this in spots, man. Some of the plays I'm seeing from Josh Allen recently, the decision making is egregious. It's egregious. Josh Allen, he's ninth in passing yards. He has 18 passing touchdowns this year. He has 7 picks, and he's 16th in QBR. Josh Allen in the past 5 games, he has 5 picks, and he has 7 passing touchdowns. He also has a lot of rushing touchdowns, though. He has 14 touchdowns and 5 picks over the past 5 games. 6 turnovers. This team, man, I mean, this team is going to be the death of me, and this team is also going to be responsible for one of the greatest days of my life if we ever win the Super Bowl. To say I have hope would be an overstatement. To say I have belief in this team would be an overstatement. And as down as I am right now, I can't imagine how down McDermott, Brady, and Josh Allen are right now. Just watching those dudes and seeing how they react to losses in the past, they got to be just as down as I am. Man, I can't believe we lost the way we did. Listen, am I surprised we lost to the Texans? No, they've had our number at, especially in Houston recently. We haven't beat the Texans in Houston since J.P. Lossman and Lee Evans. However, all the opportunities we left on the table today, the offense being as bad as it was today after a 6 touchdown performance last week is just embarrassing. All the big wins we've had this year, outside of the Chiefs loss, I guess, Josh Allen has had to do some remarkable things to get us to win. The Bucks game and the Ravens game, Josh Allen had to do something historic in the Ravens game to get a win. This team should be 6-5, and instead we're 7-4. And next week, luckily we're on a 10-week bye. A 10-day bye. We have to face the Steelers, who have had our number outside of a couple instances in the playoffs and the regular season. I don't know. I'm not confident in this team, man. And the rest of the schedule we have isn't exactly boding or increasing my confidence I have in this team. I don't believe in this team, man. I don't. And that's disheartening for me to say. We have the Steelers next, which I think we win. But we're -3.5 favorites. I think we win, but to say I'm confident is a lie. So I think the Bills go to 8-4 after that game. Then we have the Bengals. The Bengals defense is so bad we should win. But ultimately the Bengals have our number, man. So I think the Bills win that game despite the Bengals having that number. We move to 9-4. And then we have the Patriots. I can't say we win that game. I think we move to 9-5 after that game. I think we go 0-2 against the Patriots. Then we have the Browns, man. We've seen how good the Browns are at home, and they're 2-8. That defense is so good. They're going to cause problems for this offensive line and this offense. But somehow I think we win that game. I think we go 10-5. And then we have the Eagles, who the Eagles can't figure shit out on offense. But our defense is so bad and inconsistent, they will probably find a way. So I think we probably lose that game. And then they have the Jets. So most likely this team goes 12-5 or 11-6. So what a heartbreaking and disheartening loss we've had today, man, against the Texans, especially with how we lost it. Sorry I ranted too long, but despicable loss. If you want to see the heat of the moment reaction, TikTok and Matt Talk Sports, I had a really fiery reaction to this game. So the Bills, man, I can't believe we lost the way we did tonight. And now I have to fucking not watch sports shows tomorrow. And now I guess I can say I could watch this Week 12 slate without worrying about the Bills losing, but they already lost. So just a bad loss by the Bills, man. And it's gross. We let up 3 points in the second half. We only allowed the Texans to have fucking, 35 net yards from scrimmage in the second half, and we still lost. Man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Bills lose 23-19 to the Texans, who only beat the Titans by 3 points last week. And the Titans held that team to fucking 0 points a half. Fucking gross, dude. It's gross. Anyway, moving on. Week 12, we are here, boys. Cherish these weeks. I'm sure a lot of you guys who are fans of other teams are feeling like how I am right now, but worse. but I'm feeling pretty bad, boys. And let's get into it. Let's get into it. We have a Week 12 slate that is kind of ass. Just to be quite honest with you guys, this Week 12 slate is ass. We'll get the easy games out the way first. The Seahawks are heading into Tennessee. The Seahawks coming off a loss to the Rams where Sam Darnold had 4 picks. That was a really bad game from the Sam Darnold. But honestly, I walked away from that game being more impressed with the Seahawks, particularly their defense. I think the Seahawks team is really goddamn good and one of the very best teams in the NFL, if not the best. I think the Seahawks walk into Tennessee, they make Cam Warren have a bad day. They make that whole offense have a bad day. And I think that defense of the Titans struggles quite mightily. The Seahawks are minus 13.5 favorites for a reason. I think they head into Tennessee, and I think they dominate the shit out of the Tennessee Titans. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba has a great first and second quarter, and then this game is such a big blowout that he doesn't need to play the rest of the game, and he doesn't need to take that many snaps. I think Rashid Shaheed gets his first touchdown of the season, and I think Cam Ward throws 1 to 2 picks or he has 2 or more turnovers. Moving on. So Jackson Dart is predicted to play in this game. He might not. It might be Jameis, but apparently he's predicted to play. So that kind of makes a difference. But anyway, the Giants are without Scatterboo and Neighbors. They head into Detroit. The Detroit Lions are coming off an infuriating Sunday Night Football loss to the Eagles. They could have won that game, but Jared Goff was so bad. Luckily, it isn't a night game, and luckily they aren't playing in cold weather, and luckily they're playing in the dome, so they should have this one. The Giants are banged up. They're without Dable now. Hopefully, Dable is our OC for the Buffalo Bills by next week or the end of this year. But anyway, besides the point. Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, David Montgomery, Jameson Williams, Brock White, Khalif Raymond, Jared Goff. That smells trouble for this Giants defense, which is good on paper but has been struggling all year. Jackson Dart's going to be back probably, but this team isn't a good team at this point of the year. Their record says who they are. The Lions will win this game, and they probably will blow out the Giants. I don't see how this game is close, especially after a Lions loss. I can see if the Lions won last week, the Lions maybe sleepwalking into this game, but I don't see that being the case. I think Jahmyr Gibbs scores a touchdown. He didn't score last week. He had a great game last week, and he wasn't rewarded with a touchdown. He's going to be rewarded with a touchdown or multiple this week. He probably gets 3 touchdowns this week. He's going to be that great this week. I think Jared Goff gets back on track after a really bad game last week. I think the Lions head back home and they get a huge win and a confidence building win against a really bad team this week in the Giants. Lions win outright. Moving on, the New York Jets are heading into Baltimore against the Baltimore Ravens, who are tremendously hot. Their defense has been playing better, and the Ravens have been winning games despite of their offense, which their offense hasn't looked good recently. Lamar Jackson, he's battling a hamstring injury. He's getting back to healthier. He had a bad game last week against the Browns, which the Browns have a really good defense, so you can't really blame Lamar. Really, this Ravens defense is going to have a field day. They might even score a touchdown this game. Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback. Tyrod Taylor, former Baltimore Raven, if you guys didn't know. The Baltimore Ravens are going to win this game. They're going to move to 6-5. Shout out to the Ravens, man. I mean, as much as I want to rag on this team, as much as I want this team to fail, they're fighting this year, man. They are really fighting this year, and they're working themselves into a really pristine spot, not only in their division but in the AFC. I think the Ravens dominate this game, man. Tyrod Taylor's a better option at quarterback for the New York Jets, but he's not going to make a difference this week. He's probably going to have 2 or more turnovers this week. And I think Lamar Jackson, after having a really bad week last week, returns to his MVP ways this week. The Ravens win this game. Lamar returns to who he was before his injury and before this year. The Ravens win this game. They dominate. They win this game whichever way they want to, and they get it back above 500. Ravens win this game, and man, they might be the hottest team in the NFL. Ravens win this game, and they are buzzing, in my opinion. Moving on, the Patriots are heading into Cincinnati. Joe Burrow may or may not be playing this week, which is remarkable. He was a full participant in practice this week, which is crazy because he had turf toe. And we are not too sure if he starts this week. I assume he isn't because they don't want to rush him back, especially with how this Bengals team has been playing. But if Joe Burrow plays this week, I think the Patriots are on upset alert. The Patriots are minus 5.5. They were minus 8.5 a couple hours ago, so it seems like the Bengals are going to be playing Joe Burrow this week. Jamar Chase, what a bozo decision by you by spitting on Jalen Ramsey this past week. The Bengals could have had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins playing against the Patriots this week. Instead, now they just have T. Higgins, Isovas, and company with Joe Burrow if he does play. So, with that being said, I think the Bengals are live here. However, I think the Patriots do win this game. I think the Bengals cover. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals won, especially with Burrow. But he is coming off an injury. He is rusty probably. And the Patriots probably do win, but I think the Bengals cover. The Bengals, man, are they going to be game with Joe Burrow? It would be something else with Joe Burrow coming off an injury and coming off of not playing for a while, just comes right back in and beats one of the best teams in the NFL. That would be something, but the Patriots have been so hot, man, and this Bengals defense is so bad that I can't definitively say that the Bengals are going to win this game. So I got to go with the Patriots, but I do think the Bengals cover, and I am really curious if Joe Burrow plays. I assume he doesn't because they don't want to rush him back in, but shit, if he's ready to go and he's a full participant in practice, he's probably going to play. I'm really curious how this game unfolds, but give me the Patriots to win, but give me the Bengals to cover. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals win outright. That is going to be a very interesting game to watch unfold this weekend. Moving on, this pains me to say. It really does. Because the Colts, coming off a bye, one of the best teams in the NFL. They have a great O-line. They have Jonathan Taylor. They are a really good offense. They have a defense that is opportunistic and is above mediocre. They have the addition of Sauce Gardner. They're heading into Arrowhead. The Chiefs are coming off a loss against the Broncos, a big loss. They're 5-5. The Chiefs so desperately need this win. As much as I want to pick the Colts here, the Chiefs are going to win this game. I mean, partially me is saying this because the Bills are just going to suffer for eternity, and the Chiefs, they look down and out, and they're going to win this game somehow. That's just how this dice rolls. That's just how the fate of the NFL rolls, man, and that's how the fate of the NFL works. The Chiefs are going to win this game, and they're going to look goddamn good doing it. They're going to cover the -3.5, and they're going to beat one of the best teams in the NFL. However, I do think this game is going to be close because of how good this O-line is for the Colts and how talented they are with Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren, and Pittman, and Pearson Downs. I saw Daniel Jones have 5 to 6 turnovers against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which isn't bad. This Chiefs defense is the top 4 in the NFL. Daniel Jones is going to struggle here. As good as he's been playing this year, he's going to struggle here. The Chiefs need this one badly, and they're going to get it. I think they're going to cover -3.5. I do think Tyler Warren scores the first touchdown in the game, but I think Daniel Jones has a bad day. And despite Jonathan Taylor and this O-line putting up numbers this week, probably, they're not going to get the win. And I think the Chiefs win, and I think they move to 6-5. And the Chiefs are a playoff team, man. And don't sleep on the Chiefs. Don't overlook the Chiefs. I know they're 5-5, but man, don't count them out. Just don't. They're going to win this game, and the Chiefs are going to be right back on track, along with the Ravens. The Ravens are going to be 6-5 after this week, and so are the Chiefs. So the Chiefs win, they cover, and don't be surprised if the Colts lay an egg. Moving on. Now, I went into this week thinking the Bears are going to win this game. The Bears are fucking due. And really, the Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be playing this week, I assume. Probably is, I guess. He has a slightly fractured left hand, which isn't his throwing arm. But at the end of the day, whether it's a Jets jersey or a Steelers jersey, he owns the Chicago Bears, and he's continued to do so this week. The Steelers are going to win this game. I think Caleb Williams will struggle this week. I think the offense for the Bears will struggle this week. The Steelers' defense has been playing better, despite of how bad and unusual they've been this year. I do think the Steelers' defense is going to be better this week. I think their offense is going to be better this week. I do think DK Metcalf makes an impact this week. This Bears defense, despite it being opportunistic and leading the NFL in turnovers forced, that's not going to be existent this week. It's going to be non-existent. I think this is going to be a good game, but I do think Caleb Williams struggles. I think the receiving core of the Bears struggles. I think Odunze struggles. And I think DJ Moore struggles. I just think this Steelers defense is going to eat. They're going to come firing out of the cannon this week. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to wake up this week, and he's going to play a great game with a slightly fractured left hand. I think DK Metcalf eats, and I think this three-headed tight end room eats as well. Darnell Washington is a fucking tank. I think Jonnu Smith, Freiermuth, and Darnell Washington eat this week, and that's the path of victory for the Steelers team. Aaron Rodgers owns major stock in this Bears franchise, and he's continued to display that this week. The Steelers win this game. They win outright as dogs on the road in Chicago, and that's mainly due to how much Aaron Rodgers just owns the Chicago Bears team. Moving on, the Minnesota Vikings. coming off a completely horrible performance, particularly by their quarterback and J.J. McCarthy. They should have won that game against the Bears, but J.J. McCarthy was so bad, and the Bears kickoff return put them in position to win the game from Cairo Santos. So, with that being said, they're coming off a bad performance. J.J. McCarthy's look horrible. This is a division game. The Vikings have a good defense. They're greatly coached O'Connell offensively, and then you have Flores on defense. They're matching up against a Packers team who just fought life and death with the Giants team who was banged up and had Jameis Winston as their quarterback. I think the Vikings fight here. I think, despite J.J. McCarthy not being good at this point in time, I think J.J. McCarthy has an alright day. Now, he might throw a turnover. He might have a turnover or two. But I do think J.J. McCarthy will have a good enough day. And I do think this offense will be greatly coached enough to have a good enough day to cover. Not an outright, but cover and have a close game with their in-division foe, the Packers. I just don't trust this Packers team. And this Packers team, what they've shown you recently, you shouldn't trust them. They're not going to have Josh Jacobs this week. It's going to be Emmanuel Wilson. They don't have Tucker Kraft anymore. That is huge. Emmanuel Wilson and Luke Musgrave are the running back one and the tight end one heading into this week. The Vikings are going to eat on defense this week, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings win outright, but I do pick the Packers to win this game, but the Packers are susceptible to losses like this, and I think the Vikings have a chance to head into Green Bay and get this win. We saw the Packers head into Green Bay and get a victory, and the Panthers aren't an in-division foe like the Vikings. They aren't as greatly coached as the Vikings. I think the Vikings have a chance to head into Green Bay this week and get an upset. Give me the Vikings plus 6.5. I do think the Packers are good enough to win this game, but do I trust that pick? Absolutely not. I think the Vikings can head into Green Bay and get a win similarly to how the Panthers did it. Now, I know this Vikings O-line is banged up. Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason are more than good enough running backs to get the job done and replicate what Rico Dowdle did against the Packers. J.J. McCarthy is good enough to replicate what Bryce Young did against the Packers. Just have one turnover or less, dude, and you can win this game, if not cover. So give me the Vikings to cover. I do think the Packers still win, but would I be surprised if the Vikings win? Absolutely not. Give me Vikings plus 6.5, and the Packers are on upset alert. Moving on to the 4 o'clock slate. Like I said, not a great slate, to be quite honest with you guys. A pretty bad and underwhelming slate, in my opinion. Do I wish it was better? Of course, but at the end of the day, it's football, and we aren't getting these many weeks left. So, with that being said, let's cherish these weeks and let's have a great time watching football this Sunday. The 4 o'clock slate, interesting. A lot of close spreads in this 4 o'clock slate, I will say. The highest spread in this 4 o'clock slate is 3.5. Let's start with the Cleveland Browns heading into Las Vegas. Somehow the Las Vegas Raiders are favorites. You know what that means for me. Shedeur Sanders was 416 last week. 72 yards, I think, 62 yards maybe. He looked bad. But that was a player who didn't take first team reps, as Josina Anderson said. Listen, I'm taking the Browns here outright. The Raiders are horrible, and this Browns defense is very good. And we saw how horrible this Raiders offensive line looked against Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark of the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys defense is so bad, yet they looked more than competent last week against the Raiders. The Browns defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL. Myles Garrett, the best defensive player in the NFL, one of the greatest players of all time. He had 4 sacks last week, or maybe even 5, I forget. He's going to probably do the same this week against a worse offense. The Browns are going to win this game outright, man. They just are. This Raiders team is giving up. I don't know how they perform on offense, this Raiders team. Ashton Jeanty can't run the ball. Not due to his talent, it's due to his offensive line. Brock Bowers is great, but schematically how great this defense is for the Browns and how talented they are on defense. I don't see how Brock Bowers has today. Trey Tucker, I like him. You're on my fantasy team, but he's not doing anything this week. Deontay Thornton hasn't done anything all year. Michael Mayer, Samir White, Raheem Mostert, Jack Beck. No. The Browns are winning this game outright, man. They just are. They have the better offense, and they have the way better defense. And they're the better coach team at the moment. I don't know how the Raiders are minus 3.5. They shouldn't be minus 3.5 against anybody. The Browns are going to win this game outright because they have the better defense and they have the better team, despite Shedeur Sanders starting at quarterback. An extremely green quarterback who I hope does a great job this week. That will be foreseen. Give me the Browns plus 168, plus 3.5. They win this game outright. Browns win. Dog pound. Let's do it now. The Jacksonville Jaguars, coming off a big win against the Chargers last week, they're heading into Arizona. Michael Wilson had the most receiving yards of the year last week. Jacoby Brissett broke a record last week with 47 completions. This is an interesting game, man. I like the Jaguars. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be back, I assume. Who knows? He's still questionable. Tua and ETN have been really good running the ball recently. They were really effective last week, the two-man combo they have. But this offense for the Cardinals has been really good recently, man. Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, Michael Carter, Greg Dortch, Elijah Higgins, Jacoby Brissett, Xavier Weaver. This has been a really, really good offense on display recently. They just have been. And honestly, despite how opportunistic this Jaguars defense is and how greatly they played last week, I think the Cardinals offensive line is better than the Chargers. And I think this Cardinals defense is underrated. So I'm picking my second straight outright dog here. Give me the Cardinals to win in Arizona at home. I think the Cardinals get it done at home, and I think they are rewarded for the offensive performance they had last week. I think they are not going to replicate what they did last week, because last week what they did was historic despite the loss, but I think the offense will be really good this week. I think they'll be humming. I think Michael Wilson will continue to be productive as he was last week. And I think this Cardinals defense is good enough to halt this offense of the Jaguars, enough to win the game. I do think this game will be a shootout. This over for this game is 47.5. I think this game goes over that. And I think this game is going to be a fun time. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the day. And I think the Cardinals win outright. As much as I love this Jaguars team, and as much as I predicted them to go 11-6, I don't think they will, especially with the Colts and Texans, how good they've been playing. So give me the Cardinals plus 134. They win this game because of their offense, and they win this game because of how underrated this defense is. Moving on, the Falcons, maybe the most dead team in the NFL, heading to New Orleans. The New Orleans Saints are shockingly -1.5 favorites. Now, this is a team I was spunky on to start the year. I was actually like, you know what? This is my gritty team of the year. I'm going to bet them most weeks. I stepped away from this team, but now I'm back. Tyler Shuck, what he showed me in that Panthers game was pretty goddamn interesting and pretty goddamn hopeful if I'm a Saints fan. Now, is he your franchise guy? Probably not. But goddamn it, really interesting starting debut from him. I think he's starting against the Rams, so maybe not. But really interesting debut in an in-division game for Tyler Shuck. I think they're the better team in Week 12. Kirk Cousins is the quarterback for the Falcons. Michael Penix is out for the year. This Falcons team looks dead. They haven't looked good at all since the Bills game. Bijan Robinson having a hard time running the ball behind this O-line. The weapons for the Falcons, they're banged up. No Drake London for the Falcons this week, seemingly. The weapons the Falcons will have this week: Bijan, Algier, Pitts, Mooney, and Sills. Usually in an in-division game like this, especially in the division, both of these teams coincide in. You usually bet the underdog, but I'm not. I'm taking the outright favorite here, the Saints. I actually think the Saints are a decent defense, especially against a team like this, a banged-up team like this. And I think the offense was humming the last time we saw them. Now they're coming off a bye. I think Kellen Moore and this Tyler Shuck-led offense and this gritty defense they have will get the Saints this win this week. Give me the Saints. They cover the -1.5 and they get the win this week. And I see Taysom Hill getting the end zone this week. This Falcons team is dead, and they're one of the very worst teams in the NFL, and they will show you that this week with the statue they have at quarterback starting in 2025, Kirk Cousins. Moving on, Dallas Cowboys coming off a huge win against the Raiders. A lot of people are asking, are the Dallas Cowboys back? No, they aren't. I love the Dallas Cowboys. No, I don't. I don't know why I just said that. I love the Dallas Cowboys offense. I just plainly do. Their offense is really exciting to watch. They have one of the very best offenses in the NFL. Dak Prescott's been really good this year. He's been one of the most consistent NFL quarterbacks this year. The Eagles' offense, extremely inconsistent. You don't know what offense you're going to get week in, week out. That's just a very underwhelming offense this year. Jalen Hurts has been underwhelming. Their offensive line has been underwhelming. Lane Johnson is out for foreseeable future. Saquon Barkley's been underwhelming. A.J. Brown's been underwhelming. You get it. However, I think the Eagles win this game. I do, and I think A.J. Brown has 2 or more touchdowns this week. I think A.J. Brown dominates the secondary with the Cowboys, and I think Jalen Hurts has a really good game passing. I think the Eagles got the job done, and they proved that they are the scariest team in the NFL. Like I said last week, recapping the Week 11 slate, if the Eagles somehow figure out this offense, they are the scariest team in the NFL, and they're going to repeat the Super Bowl this year. I think Jalen Hurts has a day. I think A.J. Brown has 2 or more touchdowns, and I think he scores the first touchdown in the game. I think the Eagles dominate this Cowboys offense, man. I do. I really do. The Cowboys have the Eagles this week, and then they have the Chiefs on a short week on Thursday and Thanksgiving. I think the Eagles win this game big time. I think they blow out the Cowboys, and I think all the people asking, are the Cowboys back? Are they better than ever on defense? They are going to get extremely humbled because the Eagles are going to show them why they are so scary and why they should probably be Super Bowl favorites. So I think the Eagles dominate. I think A.J. Brown has a terrific day. I think Jalen Hurts has a terrific day passing. Give me the Eagles outright. They dominate the Cowboys this week, and that is going to be a blowout for the Eagles, in my opinion. Moving on to the Sunday Night Football game. Really weird game. The Bucs are plus 6.5 heading into LA, playing the LA Rams. They're plus 260 on the money line. The Rams, one of the very best teams in the NFL, the scariest offense in the NFL. Wouldn't mind if you said that. They're coming off a huge win against one of the best teams in the NFL and one of the best defenses in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks. The Bucs are coming off a hard-fought shootout against the Buffalo Bills. They lost 32-44. The Bucs are still banged up. No Chris Godwin back yet. Mike Evans out for the year, and no Bucky Irvin. Who knows when he's going to come back, if ever, this year. I do think this game's going to be close. I do. I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a shootout. People might forget Baker, his career resurged with the Rams. He got signed and won a game on Thursday night against the Raiders. It was a great game to watch, and it was a great comeback for Baker. And he's been back ever since. Emeka Egbuka, Sean Tucker, Rashad White, Kate Otten, Tez Johnson, Sterling Shepard, Baker Mayfield. I think this offense is more than capable of getting a shootout here and make this game close. However, we saw this Bills offense, which is great at times, but incredibly inconsistent, put up 44 points on the Bucs. I think the Rams can replicate that. Stafford's been on an unreal level. He's probably going to win the MVP if he keeps up this level of play. And I think they're able to keep it up here, but I do think the Bucs keep it close. I do think the Bucs cover the plus 6.5. I think this is a close game. I think it's a shootout. I think it's one of the best games of the day. I think this is a 3-point game. I think the Rams went on a last-minute field goal. I think this game is probably going to be a 30-27 victory for the Rams. What a game this will be. What a game to end the Sunday night slate. I can't wait to watch this game. I think Emeka Egbuka scores a touchdown this week, potentially the first touchdown of the game, and I think Puka and Devontae get a touchdown this week. I think this is going to be a great game to watch, and I think this is a game where you're constantly going to be eating the metaphorical or the realistic popcorn for this game. This is going to be a popcorn munching game. It's going to be similar to a great action film. So give me the Rams to win outright, but I think the Bucs cover. And would I be surprised if the Bucs won this game? Absolutely not, because Baker is great, and that's a great coach team, and they are going to go no matter who they're playing. Moving on to the Monday night game. Carolina Panthers are heading into San Fran on a Monday night game. How rare is it for the Panthers to be playing a Monday night game, by the way? Wow. Interesting. I think this is a close game as well, man. Surprisingly. Now listen, would I be surprised if Bryce Young laid an egg here? No. Would I be surprised if Bryce Young laid an egg, especially with how well he played last week? Absolutely not. But I do think this 49ers defense is banged the fuck up. And I think that's going to start to tell more and more over the weeks. Now, this Panthers defense is underrated. They have J.C. Horn. They have Derek Brown, 2 of the most underrated and best players in the NFL. But I do think this 49ers offense is great enough at this moment to absolutely pull away from this game and cover the 7-point spread. I do think this game is going to be fun for a little bit. Ultimately, the better quarterback and the better coach team prevailed. I think despite how banged up this 49ers defense is, they will find a way to force turnovers from Bryce Young in big spots, which will lead to them covering. I do think Ted McMillan scores a touchdown this week. I love Ted McMillan, man. But ultimately, I think Bryce Young will be overwhelmed in spots. And ultimately, I think the 49ers cover this. I think their offense is humming right now. McCaffrey, Kittle, Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Brock Purdy, Brian Robinson Jr., DeMarcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne, Jake Tongues, Kyle Juszczyk. This team is humming right now, man. And I think they continue to hum this week. and I think they win this game, and I think they cover the spread. This game will be close to start, but ultimately the 49ers will pull away due to the better offense and the better coaching. So that is it for the Week 12 slate. It was a really sad Week 12 slate to start. For me personally, the Bills lose. What a horrible, man. What a horrible game for the Bills, man. I still can't believe it. And honestly, I deserve a Medal of Honor for doing this podcast with what the result I got tonight as a Buffalo Bills fan. So it is your boy Matt Talk Sports. Week 12, what a weekend. Hopefully it's some great football. Hopefully everyone wins their bets. And quickly, let me tell you all the games I have and what I have for Sunday. So here's my quick synopsis for Sunday. I have the Chiefs winning against the Colts quite handily. I think they get back on track. I think Tyler Warren scores a touchdown. I think he might even get the first touchdown of the day. I have Aaron Rodgers heading into Chicago and beating the Bears as a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think DK Metcalf scores a touchdown. I have the Patriots winning against the Bengals, but I have the Bengals covering. I think T. Higgins scores a touchdown. I have the Ravens blowing out the Jets. I think Mark Andrews scores a touchdown. I have the Seahawks blowing out the Titans. I have JSN scoring a touchdown and Rashid Shaheed scoring a touchdown. I have the Vikings covering plus 6.5 against the Packers in Green Bay. I have Justin Jefferson scoring a touchdown. I have the Lions blowing out the Giants in Detroit. I have Jahmyr Gibbs scoring 3+ touchdowns. I have the Cardinals winning as underdogs at home against the Jaguars. I have Trey McBride scoring a touchdown. I have the Browns hanging into Las Vegas, getting the win as dogs to move to 3-8. I have Shador Sanders scoring a touchdown. I have the Falcons continuing to be the most dead team in the NFL. I have them losing to the Saints at home as underdogs. I have the Eagles blowing out the Cowboys in Dallas. A.J. Brown 2+ touchdowns. I have the Bucks covering +7, but the Rams winning outright. Then I have the 49ers beating the Panthers at home. I have Ted McMillan scoring a touchdown, but I also have Kittle scoring a touchdown. So that is my Week 12 picks and predictions. It is your boy Matt Talk Sports. I am depressed, I am angered, and I am infuriated, but guess what? I'm living, and there's more season left. Despite how unhopeful I am, I'm living, and that's all that matters. LIVIN. Keep living, baby. What movie is that from? If you can guess it, I'll give you $5. Moving on. If you made it this far in the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe right now to Matt Talks Films, the YouTube video you're watching right now, the channel you're watching. Subscribe. Follow me everywhere at Matt Talks Sports, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Follow me everywhere at Matt Talks Films, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and I will see you there. I will see you guys Monday morning for the Week 12 recap. It's your boy Matt Talks Sports. I'll see you Monday.